Can you give us kind of like the overview of what are some of the special needs out there that parents may need to like be aware of could be a possibility if they have a kid who's struggling? Like what are some of the give us like the overview a little bit. Can you do that?
Right. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is a big question right now, especially during the pandemic. We're seeing a lot of lagging skills and kids regressing in their skills. So I specialize in working with kids with behaviors. And so I get to help kids that have anxiety, depression, may struggle with emotional regulation, anger management, kids that are struggling with sensory differences, kids that are struggling with learning differences on the autism spectrum. And so essentially my job as an occupational therapist, I help children be as independent as possible. So I get to look at the whole child emotionally, cognitively, academically, physically, looking at the whole child to ensure that the way that they can feel successful, the way that they can be and act successfully in school is that we do look at the whole child. So I get to play detective. And so when I see a student that's having a hard time in school, then I get to put on my detective lens and I look to see, okay, is it environment? Is it perhaps the room is too bright with those awful halogen lights? Is it that the posters, you can't even see the paint on the walls
The
because it's
wa-
just covered with posters? Is it that there is too many rugs? I went into this one kindergarten classroom once. We had a whole overhaul in terms of setting up the environment, but she had all these ABC and number mats, and the whole carpet was just filled with rugs. Not only is that a tripping hazard, but also you just see all this visual information, which is very distracting. And so you wonder, why is it that my student can't sit and attend? Why is it that my student is looking elsewhere and not on me when I'm speaking? Well, they're probably fascinated by, the hundreds of posters on the walls. And you think about the smells, you think about the textures of handling glue and tape. And so when a child is having a challenge, going in to play that detective role, I get to see, okay, what is going on? What is impacting this child's learning? Where are they struggling? What time of day are they struggling? With what subject are they struggling with? And what does that look like? And then I also want to get an idea from the child's point of view. How's it going for you? What would you like to be better at? Where are you struggling? And then, making it developmentally appropriate. So for the younger ones, it will be through play because that's a child's main occupation is play. And in order for us to really connect with a child and understand where they're at, we use play. That's the avenue to really get to the child. And so, and this is what I get to do all day in my job. I get to play. I love it. It's the best. That's why I went into this work. So when we work with the children and we see where those lagging skills are, we work to then repair. And so having a conversation with the parents, making sure that they're on board, because you also have to consider, well, what's happening at home, right? Are they being successful or they're working toward that success in the school environment? They may meet their goals. They may finally get those accommodations where they're able to succeed in that previous struggle, only to go home and then resume unhealthy habits or unhealthy patterns. So then when they come back, especially after summer break, especially after longer breaks, we see such regression. And these are the kids that I tend to work with, kids that are in homes that unpredictable, homes that are can be traumatic, even kids that aren't getting those basic needs met. Lack of proper nutrition, having access to clothing, to a warm apartment or a home. So these basic needs may not be met. And so when you see the kids, sadly, it's like you're kind of working against a lot of factors here. We try to encourage healthy meals. And so we yet see a lunchbox of I have kids that come to school with a cupcake, um, uh, like some sort of bright colored drink. I don't know if it's Kool-Aid, and then a dessert. And you think the cupcake would already be the dessert, but that's part of the whole meal with pizza. It's just, that's what kids are eating. And so of course they're really struggling with learning and retention of skills. And of course they're struggling sitting still. And of course they're struggling with emotional regulation. And so having a conversation with the parents, it really starts with that education. So getting the idea of how the family is doing and where they need support.
Catch new episodes of the Mindful Mama podcast and other free resources, including the Mindful Mom Guide at mindfulmamamentor.com. You can listen to every back catalog episode, including interviews with Dr. Dan Siegel, Ianla Van Zant, Sharon Salzberg, and get meditations, join our private Facebook group, and more. Go to mindfulmamamentor.com now. I'll see you there.